Today, we're diving into a story about a boy who knew that feeling all too well. This is the tale of Oliver Twist, a story that peeled back the curtain on the dark, gritty underbelly of 19th century London, written by the master storyteller, Charles Dickens. Our story begins in a grim, miserable workhouse where a young woman gives birth to a boy and then tragically dies, leaving him nameless and alone. The parish official, Mr. Bumble, names him Oliver Twist. Life in the workhouse is anything but kind. The children are starved, overworked, and treated with cold indifference. Oliver, a small and gentle-hearted boy, endures this harsh reality for 9 long years. Then comes the moment that seals his fate. Pushed by his starving friends, Oliver walks up to the master after their meager supper of thin gruel and utters the now famous words, "Please, sir, I want some more." This simple, desperate request is seen as an act of outrageous rebellion. The workhouse officials are horrified. They decide Oliver is a troublemaker and must be disposed of. They offer a £5 reward to anyone who will take him off their hands. After a terrifyingly close call with a cruel chimney sweep, Oliver is apprenticed to Mr. Sowerberry, an undertaker. Life there is a small step up from the workhouse, but it's far from happy. He's treated poorly by Mrs. Sowerberry and bullied relentlessly by another apprentice, Noah Claypole. One day, Noah insults Oliver's dead mother, a wound too deep for Oliver to bear. In a rare burst of fury, Oliver fights back. This act of defiance earns him a vicious beating and locks him in the cellar. Knowing he can't stay, Oliver makes a daring decision. Under the cover of darkness, he runs away, heading for the distant, fabled city of London, a place he imagines must be better. The journey is long and grueling for a small boy alone. He walks for 7 days, weak from hunger and exhaustion. Just as he's about to collapse on the outskirts of London, he meets a peculiar boy named Jack Dawkins, better known as the Artful Dodger. The Dodger is flashy, confident, and seems to know his way around. He offers Oliver food and a place to stay in London, an offer the desperate Oliver gratefully accepts. But the Dodger's hospitality comes with a catch. He leads Oliver into the heart of London's slums, to a filthy den run by a strange, old man named Fagin. Fagin is a master criminal who takes in homeless boys and trains them to be pickpockets. Oliver, innocent and naive, doesn't understand what's happening at first. He thinks the boys are just playing a game, practicing how to take handkerchiefs and wallets from Fagin's pockets. He sees the jewels and valuables Fagin keeps locked away, but he doesn't connect the dots. His innocence is shattered when Fagin sends him out with the Artful Dodger and another boy, Charlie Bates, to work. They spot a wealthy, kind-looking gentleman, Mr. Brownlow, engrossed in a book at a bookstall. Before Oliver can even process what's happening, the Dodger snatches Mr. Brownlow's handkerchief and runs. In the confusion, the crowd assumes Oliver is the thief. "Stop, thief!" they cry, and a terrifying chase begins. Oliver, confused and scared, runs for his life, but is eventually caught and dragged before a magistrate. Just as he's about to be sent to prison, a witness, the bookstall owner, bursts in and declares Oliver's innocence. Mr. Brownlow, seeing the sick, frail boy before him, takes pity on Oliver. He feels a strange connection to him, noticing a resemblance to a portrait of a young woman in his home. He decides to take Oliver home and nurse him back to health. For the first time in his life, Oliver experiences kindness. He's given clean clothes, good food, and a warm bed. Mr. Brownlow and his housekeeper, Mrs. Betwin, treat him with a tenderness he has never known. He feels safe and loved. It seems his fortune has finally turned. But Fagin and his gang aren't about to let Oliver go. Fagin is terrified that Oliver will expose their criminal operation to the authorities. His associate, the menacing and violent Bill Sikes, is equally determined to get him back. They enlist the help of Nancy, a young woman in Sikes's abusive company who, despite her rough life, still has a spark of compassion. One day, Mr. Brownlow entrusts Oliver with a simple errand to return some books and pay the bookseller. It's a test of trust, and Oliver is eager to prove himself worthy. But as he walks through the streets, he's ambushed. Nancy and Bill Sikes grab him and drag him back to Fagin's den. His brief taste of a better life is cruelly snatched away. Back in the clutches of the gang, Oliver's life takes an even darker turn. Sikes and Fagin force him to participate in a burglary. Their target is a country house they believe is an easy mark. Under the threat of violence, Oliver is forced to climb through a small window to unlock the door for Sikes, but the plan goes wrong. The servants are awakened, and in the chaos, a shot rings out. Oliver is hit. Sikes grabs him and flees, but in the panic, he ditches the wounded boy in a ditch and disappears into the night. Injured and bleeding, Oliver manages to stumble back to the very house they were trying to rob. He collapses on the doorstep. The residents, Mrs. Maylie and her beautiful adopted niece Rose, find him in the morning. Instead of turning him over to the police, they listen to his story and, moved by his sincerity, they believe him. They take him in and nurse him back to health, showering him with the same kindness he found with Mr. Brownlow. Oliver spends an idyllic summer with the Maylies, finally feeling like part of a family. Meanwhile, a mysterious and sinister figure named Monks is colluding with Fagin. Monks has a deep, obsessive hatred for Oliver and is desperate to destroy him. He pays Fagin to recapture the boy and ensure he falls into a life of crime, which would ruin his reputation forever. Monks finds the workhouse where Oliver was born and destroys the only proof of his parentage, a locket and ring his mother had left behind. Nancy, who was part of Oliver's recapture, is racked with guilt. She overhears a conversation between Fagin and Monks and learns the shocking truth. Monks is Oliver's half-brother. Their father was a wealthy man who had an unhappy marriage with Monks' mother and later fell in love with Oliver's mother, Agnes Fleming. Before he died, their father left a will stating that if his unborn child was a boy without any stain on his name, he would inherit a large portion of the fortune. This is why Monks is so desperate to turn Oliver into a criminal to secure the entire inheritance for himself. Nancy knows she has to do something. She secretly meets with Rose Maylie and Mr. Brownlow, who has been searching for Oliver all this time. Under the shadows of London Bridge, she reveals everything she knows about Monks and his plan, but she refuses to betray Fagin or Sikes, fearing for her own life. But her secret meetings are discovered. Fagin, suspicious of her absences, has Noah Claypole, who has since run away to London and joined the gang, spy on her. Noah reports back what he heard. In a fit of uncontrollable rage, Bill Sikes brutally murders Nancy for her perceived betrayal. The murder sends shockwaves through the criminal underworld. Sikes becomes a haunted man, haunted by the ghost of Nancy. The public is outraged, and the police are closing in. Sikes tries to escape London, but he can't outrun his guilt or the law. Trapped on a rooftop with a mob below, he accidentally hangs himself with his own rope while trying to lower himself to safety. With Sikes dead, the rest of the gang crumbles. The Artful Dodger is arrested and transported to Australia. Fagin is captured and sentenced to death. In a powerful final scene, Mr. Brownlow and Oliver visit Fagin in his prison cell on the eve of his execution, a broken, terrified old man. Finally, all the secrets are unraveled. Mr. Brownlow, who was a close friend of Oliver's father, confronts Monks. Monks confesses everything. It is also revealed that Rose Maylie is actually Agnes Fleming's younger sister, making her Oliver's aunt. Oliver finally finds his true identity and his family. Monks is given a portion of the inheritance and moves to America, where he eventually dies in prison. The story ends with Oliver, legally adopted by Mr. Brownlow, living peacefully in the countryside with the family he always yearned for. The good and kind are rewarded, and the wicked meet their just ends. Oliver Twist is more than just a story. It's a powerful social commentary on the injustices of poverty, the corruption of institutions, and the enduring power of human goodness. It shows us that even in the darkest of places, a pure heart can survive, and that the search for love and belonging, a universal human desire. Thanks for watching our deep dive into this timeless classic. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next literary adventure. See you next time.